What's going on there, everyone? Well, I had to take a break from those impeachment hearings because they're as usual nonsensical. Every time the Republicans put up a point of order, Nadler shoots it down because he doesn't know his actual rules. Because Democrats don't care about the rules. But let's get into another story. Interesting little tidbit came out. This is from The Pluralist. Epstein died after working with Israeli intelligence to blackmail U.S. politicians, ex-spy claims. Now, we've all heard this, and we've all, pretty much made our own assumptions about this. It's interesting, but this article makes me wary because the information is in a book that's coming out, or that has came out, and whenever stuff's in a book and all that stuff, it really bothers me because it's like, all right, I'll read it, but I don't fully trust it, because are you just trying to sell copies of your book, or is this actual information? So I'm gonna read this article to you, and we'll see if we can disseminate whether it might be factual or just trying to sell a book. Let's get into it. Ari bin Minash, an Iranian-born businessman who says he worked as a senior military intelligence officer for Israel, made claims in Epstein, Dead Men Tells No Tales. The book, authored by entertainment journalist Dylan Howard, was released last week and purportedly chronicles the unedited story behind the disgraced financier's life. Ben Minash, who claims to have been a handler for Robert Maxwell, is quoted in the book as saying Maxwell introduced Epstein to Mossad. Now, as if this story couldn't get any stranger or whatever, we have more connections, to elitist. And, man, seems... we already knew this was a huge network. That's one thing we already knew. We as a people have come to that conclusion. This network was huge. Many, many, many important people are involved in this situation. That's probably why it's so quiet. It's probably why Epstein met his fate. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Let's just keep getting it. Robert Maxwell's daughter, Ghislaine, I don't know, has been accused of procuring underage girls for Epstein's trafficking ring. Epstein was hanging around, funny choice of words, Epstein was hanging around Robert Maxwell, and the daughter was hanging around there too. And that's how they met. Just two young souls. They met, Ben Banash says in Epstein, Dead Men Tells No Tales. Maxwell sort of started liking him, and my theory is that Maxwell felt this guy is going for his daughter. He felt that he could bless him with some work and help him out, like in a paternal way, Ben Minash said. They were agents of the Israeli intelligence services. Later on, Ghislaine got involved with Israeli intelligence together with him, he said. According to Ben Minash, Epstein's alleged trafficking ring served as a honey trap to ensnare powerful men and politicians. That has been the narrative all along, and I think it's safe to say that, yeah, that's probably exactly what was happening. Epstein was sort of flying very important people around the world, providing young girls for some of them, he said. Ben Minash said Epstein filmed American politicians having relations with underage girls, and claimed that a claim that has not been substantiated. And what's interesting there is we know that Epstein's island had surveillance cameras everywhere. We know that there were computers taken out of there and all kinds of like digital stuff taken out of there, digital files. Are we ever gonna be told what was on all that stuff that was taken out of there? Absolutely not. They don't want us to know that because, I mean, that's the evidence. That is the evidence that would collapse governments. most likely. We're not going to know this. It could, I mean, it would seriously probably disrupt the global political scheme that they've created in this world. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little conspiratorial, but this is a conspiracy if I've ever seen one. Like, this is just, wow. Right there in the open for everyone to see. It's pretty insane. If you're an intelligence community and you have someone like Epstein who's kind of a celebrity, who can attract celebrities, who can be part of conversations about world events, about the most secret things. If you put people like Clinton on his planes, and you can put Ehud Baral, I don't know who that is, a former prime minister of Israel and former general, then he's a guy who really matters to you, Ben Menash claimed. In a 2011 interview with the National Post, Ben Menash addressed a reputation for fabulism. I'm a liar, I'm crooked, I'm delusional, I've heard and read all of it, he told the Canadian news outlet. But people keep getting it wrong. They read this propaganda and they assume it's true and they'll pass it along. It causes me problems, it really does. Ben Menash claims echo a theory proposed in August by former CIA counterterrorism specialist Philip Giraldi. There is no other viable explanation for him filming of prominent politicians and celebrities having relations with young girls, Giraldi wrote in the American Herald Tribune, an outlet that has been accused of promoting conspiracy theories and pseudoscience. I'm not familiar, honestly, with the American Herald, so I'll have to take their word for that. Epstein clearly had contact with former Israeli Prime Minister Shimon Peres and Ehud Barak. And Epstein's client, Leslie Wexner, also had close ties to Israel and its governments. According to the New York City Medical Examiner, we all know, they say he hung himself while awaiting trial. That he had pled not guilty to. I don't know what to tell you, people. It just, the plot is so thick. And we pretty much, I don't want to go out and say 100% certainty that we know exactly what happened. But I think I have, an 85% certainty that we know what happened here. And it's been clearly laid out. It's just, come on, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. There's so many people, so many entities saying that what we believe, what we the people believe is true, about Jeffrey Epstein and his political ties and all this, that, and the other, and these elitists doing this and him blackmailing them. That's how he pretty much made his fortune. We all know this pretty much to be true. But what's going to happen from here? Probably nothing. We saw, what was his name? Is it Prince Andrew? Good Lord, my stomach is growling. But we saw Prince Andrew come out and have a just abysmal interview, which is pretty much destroying him as we know it. If I remember correctly, the Queen has absolved him from all of his duties. So, that's interesting. But I don't think we're going to ever see anything happen. I'm pretty sure this is going to be swept under the rug. Because it implicates too many very, very important people, Which they're not important at all. They're just people. But they have a mystique around them. They are the elites. The elite groups that we are not part of and that we are not accepted into. We're probably not going to see anything happen here, people. The victims are not going to get any compensation. They're not going to have any justice. We, the people, are not going to have any justice. This is a worldwide sham. But we're forced into a lot of shams. We're forced into a lot of them. Because we, the people, are practically powerless when it comes to these type of people. They're protected. But I don't know. It's just an interesting article, and I thought y'all should, I'm trying to keep everyone up to date with what's going on with the Epstein situation. And yeah, we're getting nowhere still. More people come out and tell their story, and it'll just get swept under the rug. Sad. Sad, 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 man. What can you do? Even the major media organizations won't allow their journalists to publish things that could have implicated our own American politicians. But they had the evidence, they said, but no, don't put that out there. Scary times we live in, people. Information is no longer, it's no longer important. Real factual information seems to no longer be important. Just feed them BS, make them feel good, or fit a narrative that we want them to have. It's pathetic, man. Journalism's dying. Everything's just falling apart, it seems. But we can fix it somehow. I'm not sure how yet, but we'll fix it. We'll get it all straight. But we'll see. As always, I'd love to hear your comments on this, because this it's just a crazy situation that gets crazier by the day. Every new story that comes out, it draws more questions, and there's never any answers. But yeah, love to hear your comments, and as always, like, share, and subscribe. I will catch you all on the flip side.